Think about God in terms of movement. Think about that. The ancient Germanic, think about our modern word God comes from the Germanic word goat. Look it up. Goat means to call forth. God is a verb. You do God. You walk God. You talk God. Breathe God. Jane, thank you very much. I'm an awesome speaker. I try hard. But really, I just love doing what I do. You have no idea how much I love doing what I do. And if I can help somebody and pull somebody out of the darkness, that fills me up with a sense of happiness and joy. Because trust me, I've been there. I've been in that grave, and somebody had to pull me up. Somebody had to pull me up out the grave. Exactly. Manjeet, perfectly. You said it perfectly. God can't be understood, he is to be experienced. And that's why when you read some of these mystical poems, you don't eat meat, favorite diva, cold turkey for 30 days. You know what? I've thought about that, but I still got to figure out how to get all my proteins. I got to start working out again. I'm trying to be at least 220 pounds of muscle. Right now, I'm like 260, and like half of that is just chubbiness. But yeah, well, before when I was lean and mean, I was like 200 pounds, pure muscle. I was bench pressing like 280 or something like that. I was a monster a few years back. But like I was saying, God has to be experienced, and that's why when you read a lot of these mystical poems, a lot of times it's confusing because people are trying to take these divine experiences, these meditative experiences, these godly experiences, and put them into words, and that's hard. It ain't easy to put these things into words. So they're giving us bits and pieces and snatches of images and concepts. And when you read it, if you're not in that mindset or if you've never experienced it, it's going to be hard to understand some of these mystical poems. Some of it is confusing. I mean, I've gone into meditation trances and come out and written down stuff, and I went back and looked at it, and I'm like, will anybody understand this? Will anybody get it? It's very important to remember and realize that it's important to remember and realize that yeah, God has to be experienced. These things have to be experienced. That was one of the tests of Gautama Buddha. If anybody's familiar with the story of Buddha, Buddha was trying to find enlightenment, right? And he went through a period of time where he was studying under all these teachers, but couldn't break through into what he felt was enlightenment. So he overindulged early in his life. That didn't work. Then he became a strict ascetic and stopped eating, stopped drinking water, almost died. That didn't work. He studied under all these teachers. That didn't work. So one day he sat under what they call the Bodhi tree, the tree of enlightenment, the tree of wisdom. And he said, I'm not moving from this spot until I awaken. So he sat underneath the tree meditating in a deep, deep, deep trance. And there was a being called Mara, the evil one. Mara came and tried to tempt him with beautiful women, tried to tempt him with the riches of the world, tried to tempt him with food because he hadn't eaten. He hadn't eaten in a long time. And you'll notice there's a similarity between the story of Buddha being tempted by Mara and the story of Christ being tempted by the devil, but we'll touch on that another time. But as the Buddha is sitting there and Mara's trying to break his concentration, eventually the Buddha broke through all the distractions and all the techniques of Mara, the evil one. The Buddha broke through, and he said to himself, I'm going to go teach. And Mara came up with an idea for one last temptation. And Mara said to him, what are you going to teach? He said, what are you going to teach to people? They can't understand this. You can only experience this. You can't teach this. How are you going to teach something that can't be understood, only experienced? And for a moment, the Buddha was struck. He was like, man, you're right. How am I going to teach this? They can't understand this. They got to experience it. They're not going to get this. Why should I even bother teaching? They're not going to get it. And then he said, some will know. Some will get it. Some will understand. And he just walked off and began in teaching and became one of the most profound spiritual thinkers of all time. But you're right. God is to be experienced. And a lot of people are not going to get it because of that. But some will know. Some will get it. And for some, they'll understand what it means when God is your only reality. All right. So let's wrap it up. This was a good one. I like this one. I felt really energized on this one. So, will anybody does anybody have any questions? Anybody want to know anything? Annika, I thank you as well. Thank you for being here.